Hello, brothers and sisters. A very good day to you. Welcome to Liberty Today with Reverend Edward. We began this month by looking at the topic, when He is with you. And we looked at the fact that as believers, there are times in life that God leads us beside still waters, and there are times that we find ourselves going through the valley of the shadow of death. Nevertheless, what it is that we may be going through, what the situation may look like, is not as significant as the one that stands by us going through those situations. Now today we'll be taking it a step further, and I'll be looking at Genesis chapter 1 from verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Praise God. Now, in the beginning, God created the heaven and He created the earth. Verse 2 introduces us to a situation and a scenario of the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Now, some theologians and a number of scientists who are Bible-believing have said that the space between verse 1 and verse 2 was when Lucifer was cast out of heaven. Remember in Revelation, we are told of the war that happened in heaven between Lucifer and his followers and Michael, where Lucifer was cast down and said, "Woe to the earth and the inhabitants of the earth, for the enemy has come down to you having great wrath, because he knows that his time is short." So a lot of people have said that between verse 1 and 2, Lucifer was cast down with the fallen angels, and they were responsible for the condition of the earth in verse 2, which was without form and void, darkness upon the face of the deep. Now, you agree with me that there are a lot of us that are going through situations in our lives that can be characterized by these classifications in verse 2, without form, empty, and darkness all over, confusion, not knowing the way forward, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, not knowing how to resolve these situations that we found ourselves in. Now you see, whether the school of thought is true that it was the fallen angels that were responsible for the earth becoming without form and void and all that, or not, it is not as significant as the fact that the earth in verse 2 was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. That is not beauty. That is not bliss. That is not glory. But you see, in verse 3, we're told that the Spirit of God, in the end part of verse 2 into verse 3, that the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And now it goes on to tell us how God kept saying several things, and they kept manifesting until the end of the chapter, where God looked at all that He had made, all that had manifested from the words of His mouth, all that had manifested from His engagement with the condition of the earth, which was without form and void, and had darkness all over. And God saw that everything that was made was good, was very good. And God rested. Now, like I said earlier, the situations of your life, what may have been responsible for where you are now, notwithstanding. You see, spending time and energy and effort trying to decipher and analyze what was responsible for this, who was responsible for this, may not really take you out of the situation that you are in at the moment. What is important and what is significant to your turnaround, to our turnaround, is a divine engagement, a divine interference. Now you see, disciples of Jesus asked Him at a point that this man that was born sick, who committed sin? Was it his parents or was it him? And Jesus Christ said, no, it was neither his parents nor him. But this was done so that the glory of the Lord will be manifested. So you see, unlike before that they thought that the reason, the purpose for sickness was sin, now Jesus Christ was introducing something else that that was responsible for his condition. And in the same way, there could still be another reason or another thing that is responsible for whatever condition. So most times we may not be able to categorically define what has been responsible or what is responsible for where we have found ourselves. But if He is with you, if there is a divine interruption, if there is an introduction of the presence of God and the hand of God in that situation, you will surely experience a turnaround. God bless you. Keep your faith alive. It is never late. Do not lose hope. Do not give up. Let God take control and you will have a testimony. Remain blessed.